won! I won a competition. Hello everyone and welcome back, and today I won a competition. So if you're not aware, last year Copic Marker Australia hosted monthly competitions and I pretty much entered all of them, and yeah, my actual artwork won. If you frequent my videos, you probably remember this Pavlova artwork here, which was a sort of Christmassy artwork that I created with a red and green sort of color palette, and that was for the Copic Marker Australia sort of competition, and they picked my artwork as a winner. So for my prize, they sent me out these Copics and they decided on a yellow sort of color theme for the Copics that I won, which is amazing because yellow is one of my favorite colors, so that was really good. But yeah, today I want to use all of the markers that were given to me in an artwork and do a sort of another color challenge, because why not, you know, let's celebrate. I was also given a pad of this Express-It blending card, which is amazing because it is one of my absolute favorite papers to use. And along with that, I got 15 Copic markers, all yellows except one cheeky toner grey, which is awesome because it just works really well with the yellows. And yeah, I just can't believe I actually won something. I never win these kinds of things, so yeah, it sort of like really surprised me. So at the moment I'm just swatching out all of the colors because when I get new Copics I really want to sort of test out the colors and see what they look like down on the paper. And I also did some little blends as well to see how well the colors worked together, as well as layering most of those yellows out over the grey just to see what it looks like. So for the drawing today, I wanted to do a bit of a sort of like a portrait artwork of a girl, and I had the idea to do her hair is like completely made up of flowers. Now, if you've been frequent on my channel, you probably know I've done a lot of artworks like this in the past, but I've sort of steered away from them a little bit because I like variety and I like trying to draw new things and different things, especially like creatures and dragons and Pokemon, but I still love drawing sort of pretty girls and like flowers and stuff like that, so I decided to get back in and try an artwork of that sort of subject matter. Now the face looks a little bit familiar, and that's probably because I used a photo of myself as a reference, which is funny because the final artwork sort of ended up really looking like me, and I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't mean for it to be a self-portrait or anything. I just wanted to draw a girl in a specific pose, and I had a photo of myself in that pose, so I decided to use that as a reference. But because of that, it ended up really looking like me, which is kind of funny, but I'm not mad or anything. So I'm going a bit back to basics and sort of simple with the technique today. I usually do like to sort of sketch on different pieces of paper, sometimes sketch in ink digitally, or sketch and then transfer the liner onto a different piece of paper. Today I just didn't feel like doing that. I just sort of wanted to go a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more simple. So you know what, it's okay because I'm pretty adept at drawing faces, and it wasn't that hard. It was a sort of more simple artwork where I felt like I could sketch it down pretty, you know, neatly and still erase the lines and stuff like that. So I decided to just sketch it completely down on that Express-It blending card using a mechanical pencil, so the lines were really soft and thin. And then after that I used a kneadable eraser to erase most of the lines so that they were really light. And then after that I went over with my fine liners to do the inking. Now I wanted to do thinner lines on the flowers because I knew it would be quite detailed and I didn't want the line art to be too intense. But halfway through, my 0.2 inking pen sort of started to run out, and it didn't look very nice, so I decided to go back over it afterwards with my my sort of brush pen, and yeah, it ended up having a little bit thicker liner on the flowers than I would have preferred, but to be completely honest, I actually like it. So because I was really sort of heavily referencing the photo of myself for the pose and the face and stuff, it ended up being a little bit less cartoonish than I am, usually used to drawing. It's a little bit more of a sort of semi-realistic. The proportions are definitely more human-like than sometimes I draw, but I actually like it, and I think it's a little bit of a nice change. Sometimes I get a little bit bored drawing in the same style over and over again, so I sort of have a few different sort of art styles that I end up drawing in. It's not always the same sort of art style, so yeah. So now we're into the colouring phase, because this is a colouring challenge. It's a colour palette, yellow challenge, and this was the challenging part. Anyways, so I wanted to do lots of yellows and stuff in the flowers, but with the face and the clothes, I didn't want them to sort of disappear into the mess of yellow that was about to happen. So I decided to keep it somewhat simple so that they would still sort of stand out, and I coloured in the shirt with the grey colour, and I layered it up a few times because it was a bit of a sort of a pale grey kind of colour. And for the skin, I used two different colours. They are yellows, but they're the sort of more rosy sort of yellows, a bit more peachy, I think. Let me get the colours to see what they are. So the colours are YR Quad Zero Pale Chiffon, which is a very, 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 very pale sort of yellow red sort of colour. And other than that, I used the Cashmere, which is White 32 for the sort of shadows in the skin tone. And I tried to blend them out quite a bit to sort of make it look a bit more soft, and yeah. So for the lip colour, I decided to go with YR02 Light Orange. I just felt like it was the colour that fit most for lips. It was like a bit more passable than some of the more sort of goldy yellow colours. And for the necklace, I used Y18 Lightning Yellow, which is an amazing colour name. I actually really like that colour name. I kind of want to draw a Pikachu in this colour. So yeah, for the flowers, I went around to each sort of type of flower and I coloured them in slightly different colours. Some of them are the more sort of peachy yellowy colours, and some of them are more sort of slightly greeny yellows. And then the big flower sort of on the side of her head, I decided to keep mostly white and just shade it with some of the really, really light coloured yellows, just to sort of, I don't know, make the flowers look like they're different to each other even though they're all the same sort of tones. And yeah, this was super fun. I actually really enjoyed it, and because it was a slightly more sort of simple subject base, I was able to sort of just relax and enjoy the process and just have fun and make a cute little portrait sketch. Yellow is one of the more challenging ones to do though, because with yellows it's really hard to get a sort of range of values. Most yellows are pretty light to sort of more mid-tone range, and it's kind of hard to get more shadows in yellows without sort of dipping into the more sort of oranges and browns. And I know some of these are more sort of orangey yellows than others, but I still think they count because these were all given to me together, and they all have that Y in the name, so you know, yellow green, yellow red, that kind of thing. So after I had all of that down, I felt like I still needed a little more something in this, just to sort of, you know, make it a little bit more interesting and you know, try something new, you know. So I actually decided to go into the shirt because it was feeling just a little bit more plain, and I decided to do a bit of a geometric pattern over that shirt using a few different colors. Now I used my ruler and I drew a bunch of triangles all over the shirts in different sort of shapes and sizes and positions, and I tried to keep it a little bit more simple. I didn't want the patterns to sort of clash with the really detailed flowers, and yeah, I actually really like it. I think it was a big improvement. It just has a little bit more something in the artwork just to sort of like have for your eyes to look at and be a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with it. So anyways, here is the final results, and I like it a lot. It's definitely a little bit more different, a little bit more simple than my usual artworks, but that's kind of what you have to do with a color challenge, especially the yellows. And yeah, I like the results and I hope you guys like it too. So anyways, please smash like, subscribe to get your scribble fix in the future. Welcome, by the way, to all my new subscribers. I actually won a sort of shout out thing with Jazza, and yeah, I gained a bunch of new subscribers. So welcome guys, I hope you enjoy my channel, I hope you like this video, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.